6:02.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I'm your host. This is the Dawn Patrol. We're on for the first hour from 6 to 7, and then we have City Life from 7 to 8, approximately. For the different places, Drake at Chelmsford, Lowell, Tewksbury, Tingsboro, we do come on at different times and or end at different times. Depends on the thing. We're on at 7 in Lowell, but the others are 6 to 8, and we're definitely on in Chelmsford for the 2 hours as far as I'm aware. And also in Chelmsford, we repeat this on Sunday and on Tuesday. So if you check your listings, you'll find that out. Sam Chase is here as my co-host. Maybe one of these days, Bob Hovey will be back, but we always wish him well and praying for his health. And we have John McDonough behind the camera, sometimes on the camera. You'll hear his voice in the background. There he is on that camera.
What's this called?
That is almond Danish that I made, and there's cranberries in it.
Delicious. Thank you.
Very simple to make if anybody's interested, but we'll talk about food later. 44 degrees, 43 degrees coming in from Chelmsford this morning.
Good change from yesterday. When I got up at 4:30 yesterday, it was 30 degrees at my house.
Oh, it was cold. The heat actually came on in the room.
Well, I hope so, at 30 degrees.
Well, I was surprised.
Otherwise, you're living in a refrigerator.
Well, the room that I sleep in Chelmsford anyway, the bedroom that I sleep in Chelmsford, I always have the window open. Glenn doesn't like it, that's for sure.
But you have the gas
And I
fireplace.
Yes, I have a gas fireplace. Well, I like, and because I have the electric blanket, as long as my nose isn't super cold or anything, I'm happy with whatever the temperature is in the room, because it takes a while for it to get down.
Yeah, but he doesn't like the cold.
No, so he has a different situation. So anyway, so where the thermostat is far enough away from everything. But yesterday morning, I just about got, nice and sleeping and the whole thing and everything. And the heat comes on, and there's a fan, so you can hear this. And I was like shocked, because I had put it down to like 40-something degrees on the thermostat so it wouldn't come on. But it did. Anyway, and then I put the fans on.
So it was
So
cold
it was chilly.
in that room.
Yes. And when I saw snow flurries.
Let me ask you something about your gas fireplace. So you have the gas fireplace, you have that on a thermostat?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the next time I do mine, and mine is, mine is 22 years old. They actually recommend replacing them every 20 years. I'm not sure why.
I'll have to ask Glenn.
But mine's working fine. I take it apart every fall and I clean it, okay? And I think maybe that's why it's lasting.
Well, we haven't done that. I
And,
think we've had it twice. Serviced.
It's easy to do yourself, but if I ever do replace it.
So invite Sam over.
No, it's very simple. But if I ever do replace it, I'm going to look into getting a thermostatic model, because I think that's, I'll tell you, that's one of the best things we ever did. And it was my wife's idea. I mean, she said, let's do it. It was expensive because, of course, you have to buy the unit, but then it has to be plumbed and for gas, and it has to be wired if you don't have electricity going there. So it cost me as much to plumb it and do the electricity as it did to buy the unit, but I'm not sorry. It was a great investment. What a huge difference. And it's a backup heating source. That fireplace throws out 60,000 BTUs.
I don't know what ours does.
So you could
but it's a
literally
lot
heat
bigger
the
than
house
yours.
with it. Yeah.
It heats that whole
Yeah.
area. And when, in the past, when we haven't had power and we were
Yeah.
limited
It's perfect.
with different things, the heat would come on.
Yes, because you have a pilot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, but it's big, it's a lot bigger than yours, the one you have.
Yeah.
So it's
the one you have probably throws out 80 or 90,000
I don't know, I can look it
BTUs.
up, it's a Mendota. But we put it in 2000, I think 2003 or 4, somewhere in there.
That's when we did ours.
So, anyways, that's one way to heat, is that way. The other way to heat, everybody's looking at electrical. So there are electric fireplaces. They have blowers on them too.
My daughter has
There's
one.
different electrical units.
Mhm.
What's interesting is there now are the heat pumps with the air conditioners, so it's dual.
Right.
You can either have heat or you can have air conditioning.
So
But
you guys are indicating to the audience that you can make a phone call and get this installed this afternoon at your house.
well, the heat pump
When
you
the
can put in
actual
window.
reality is, you're not gonna get this thing before May.
You'd have to check the availability
I-
with wherever you
Right,
wanted to
and,
get
and
it.
you know, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, I was reading these heat pumps. Right now, you can get tax rebates. That program is going to expire soon. So, and I forget what the cutoff date was. But if you are interested in doing heat pumps, I would recommend that you call Mass Save, okay? And ask about that, because I know a couple of my neighbors have done heat pumps. And they told me, they said they would not have done those had it not been for the subsidy. So I guess the subsidy, tax subsidy, is quite generous.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah,
I find all of that, all of the stuff interesting, and it depends. It already ended.
oh, it's already, okay. What
So
does
it
say?
says here, Mass Save Heat Pump Rebates offer ends October 31st. Save
Oh.
up to $12,000 on a new HVAC system.
Yeah.
Offer ends October 31st.
So the sun's gone down.
It's gone.
That's
I'm
correct.
Okay, maybe, well, I
There may be
misread
other.
it. I misread it.
It's okay. There may be other ones because it's national grid rebates on electric heat pumps. So
Maybe
National
that's what I-
Grid,
Yeah, that's probably what I was reading.
Massachusetts, it's
Yeah.
closed. So I'm looking to see if, just glancing as fast as I can through here. I can't, everybody should look it up because there's a whole list of stuff. And with regard to National Grid
Right.
in Massachusetts. I don't know what Eversource is in New Hampshire.
And you know what, if it's something that you want to do, if you want to go that route, I have my own philosophy on whether it's good or bad, but if you want to go that route, take advantage of the subsidies. They're there because we're all paying for them. You get your gas bill and your electric bill in Massachusetts. You are being charged for these programs, whether or not you take advantage of them. So if that's the way you want to go, and you want to get some of your money back that you've paid to the utilities, then make sure that you look into these programs and get whatever reimbursement or credit that you're entitled to get.
Usually, if you have a plumber that needs to do stuff like with gas, they know what
Oh, yes.
rebates there are. So
they'll
they
tell you.
are aware of them, even though you may not be aware of them. They'll
They'll-
let you know. So when we had our heating system replaced, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, whatever it was that we did, that plumber knew. And so we ended up getting a lot of rebates as a result of that. And so that was a good thing. But there's, when John says you're not going to get anything to May, well, you have to check.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is you're doing, because you can order air conditioners that are also heat pumps. But the problem I find is that if it goes below 40 degrees outside, they don't work. Now, we have one. Well, actually, I think we have two or three of them.
I think the newer ones perform better than that, from what I've read.
Well, it depends on what level you get.
Right.
So I have to look that up. So last night, Glenn had put the heat on via one of these air conditioners that we have. And
Is it a window unit?
Yes.
Okay.
And when I went by it, it was making a strange noise, and I looked at my phone, it was 38 degrees outside. So it had stopped working.
So it's struggling, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
turned
no,
it off.
at the beach, we have window units that are heat pumps.
And AC, both, right?
Yes. And when it gets cold, it just turns into an electric
Right,
heater.
right.
So you don't freeze. Evelyn makes it think, well, you're going to freeze. No,
Well,
you're
it de-
not.
it
Oh, I
depends-
didn't say
The
you're going to
electric-
freeze.
No, what but you're indicating you're going to
It
freeze.
depends on the
It
outside.
turns into an electric unit.
But it turns itself off. It turned itself off at 40 degrees.
depends
the
on
one
the
I
outside.
had.
Understanding what I'm going to
Depends on
say
the
here,
outside
Ev.
temperature.
The one I
Yeah.
have, that's what it did, John. The one you have is designed not to do that. You have a different unit than I have, made by a different company.
in China.
There you
Well,
go.
anyway, I'm just saying, there's
The
different ones
Chinese are-
out there.
the Chinese
If
are
I
colder.
was to buy one of these units, in agreement with what you're saying, if I was to buy one of these units that was exclusively that I needed it more for heat than air conditioning, I would definitely buy it so that it would be going down to minus 20, because it wouldn't be worth my while living in New England to have it go off at 40, because in the wintertime, it's
Well,
always below
this is,
30.
A few years ago when they really were on everybody's case to get these heat pumps. And the technology is evolving all the time. So what I say is probably outdated, but I remember, because I looked into it, and the complaint generally was that with the heat pump, they were good, the best ones at the time, they were good down to about maybe 25 degrees Fahrenheit. And once you got below that, they weren't that good. But part of the problem is how well insulated your house is, okay? So if you have a very tight house, then it's going to be more effective. If your house is not well insulated, then that's going to affect the performance. So a neighbor of mine just put one in, not as a primary, but as a secondary heat source. And that's worked out well for him. So. But he's an engineer, okay, so this is something that Glenn could get into. He did all kinds of calculations, how does his primary heat source furnace perform, blah, 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 and then he sized the unit to offer an auxiliary heating situation, and it's worked out well for him. So, everybody's situation is different. I'll tell you, I have and some folks will be able to relate to this, I think, who live in Chelmsford especially. I have an old Campanelli ranch house, and it's on a slab, and all those houses originally had radiant heat, hot water pipes in the cement, okay? And you remember George Ripson's house?
Yes.
That's the way his is. And that is absolutely, for heat, that is absolutely the best way to go. And if you talk to a heating contractor or a building contractor today, they'll tell you that with the construction methods that they use today and the heat containment, they build a perimeter around the thing so that the heat can't get out this way. That is the most efficient kind of heat you can get, because it brings a slab up to temperature and heat rises naturally, okay? Several years ago, my heating system developed problems, and the plumber came in, and now this was back, 22, 23 years ago, and he said, well, you have three choices. He says, you can fix what you have and make it the same, which means jackhammering your floor, and the cost at that time would have been close to $100,000. So we are not doing that, okay? He said the other choice is, he says, you can keep your hot water, you can convert to baseboard, which one of my neighbors had done, all right? And he said the problem with that is, of course, you're going to lose wall space, blah, blah, blah. And that was not cheap. That was like, I don't know.
That's all plumbing.
Yeah, that was like $35,000 or $40,000.
Right,
okay?
there's a lot of copper.
And he said, or you can do hot air. And I said, so at that point, I turned to my wife and I said, well, I guess you're finally going to get your central air conditioning. I said, because if we're going to do hot air, I said, 80% of the cost of central air is the duct work. And if you're going to do hot air, we got to put in the ducts, so we might as well go the extra $5,000 or $6,000 and get you. So that's what we did. So I've had the hot air sit, and it works okay because I've done some modifications to it. But boy, do I miss that radiant heat. I miss that radiant heat, because hot air heat coming from the ceiling is not the best way to go. Hot air heat coming from the floor level is okay, again, because the heat rises, okay?
Right.
But when it comes from the ceiling, it's not as effective. But it's extremely effective with air conditioning. My central air conditioning, it works. I mean, it
That's
is.
because cold air falls.
If cold air falls,
It's heavier.
and it
Ev, you wanna
works
read this one?
beautifully. Go ahead.
Energy bills will continue
Yeah.
to rise in this state. It's all about the green agenda being driven
No.
by the State House. Now, this segues into an article I had.
That's a lot of
Hold
it.
on one second. I'm going to back the bus up. Just
That's a lot of it.
here, okay? If you're in a tight budget and you're going to be uncomfortable. Your best bet in my book is to get a heat pump, split duct system, where all the noise is outside the house, and you have this thing on your wall that just blows in nice air, whether it's cold air, warm air. But the key thing is, it's connected to your phone.
Connected to your what?
Telephone.
Oh, telephone, okay.
You connect it to your phone. So there's a thermostat on the wall. You can have it on 68, you can have it on 78, whatever you like. But you can also go to bed, shut it off completely. And you wake up in the morning, well, I'm going to go downstairs to the, whatever room you hang out I hang out all day in the kitchen. Then make the kitchen comfortable. And the heck with the rest of the house. If you're on a tight budget, just make one room comfortable, one of these split air units, and you'll be happy. But the key is, it's got to work off your phone so you can lay in bed and say, I'm going to make the kitchen 72. So you put
My son-in-law.
72, hit the snooze bar, and in 15 minutes, the kitchen's 72.
My son-in-law runs everything in his house off his phone. The heat, everything. He's got everything.
It's great.
Set up that way, so.
As long as if the phone goes down and
Yeah.
something happens to it,
Yeah.
it
But the
gets
thermostat's
dropped
still
in
on
the
the
toilet,
wall. It's
it
amazing.
still will work.
When was the last time your phone went down, Ev? What do you have, a 1912 phone over there with a crank
Oh
on the
no, I
side?
got one of the latest phones.
Evelyn
too.
used to have a two-piece phone. She'd hold the piece up to her
You're
ear.
funny. I have the original bag phone. I kept it as a collector's item.
Of course. Of course.
This segues into an article. It was on Google, WCVB, Channel 5 Boston, and you can watch the YouTube version of this if you want to. But the article is Massachusetts gas customers spending billions on new pipes the state plans to abandon. So the long-range plan is no natural gas in Massachusetts.
Has been for about 15 years. Yeah.
And so they're replacing the pipes because the pipes are leaking. And I think part of the reason they're also replacing the pipes is there's a liability because they blow up if you have other issues, a spark somewhere if they're leaking. So in Chelmsford, where I am, there has been a gas leak.
And I smell it when I go
For-
into your neighborhood.
25 years. Now, if they're really concerned about climate change and what goes into the air, they'd definitely be fixing all the gas pipes until, and we're paying for that through our gas bills. And they think that they're going to go all electric, but they got to have a source of energy for all electric. So I would say keep fixing the gas pipes because I think somebody may change their mind in the future as far as what energy may be.
They
And it may
will-
not be electric.
It's not, we're not going to get there in the foreseeable future.
Well, no, this is way out there that they
Understand.
said that we weren't going to have it, but they got to keep fixing stuff because it's not safe. Never mind health-wise.
They have to maintain it, and you have to understand that some communities have had gas in the streets since the 1890s, okay? So some of that piping is well over 100 years old.
It's like water pipes
And
that they have to
exactly,
replace.
exactly. So, you have to do continual maintenance. And what's very frustrating to me as a taxpayer is, as just a citizen, what is very frustrating is, I'm going to read this. At the State House, they're pushing to do away with gas by 2050. That was the original agenda. That's correct. I understand these outdoor units, electric heat and AC, do not work below 27 degrees, making the heating part useless, and we just talked about that. And I think the answer to that is it depends
He
on
must have a 1977
it
unit.
depends on the unit you have, and it also depends on the degree to which your house is insulated. If you got an old house with no insulation, it's not going to work well, okay?
But this business about it doesn't work below 27 degrees. If you have a 1977 unit, that's
No,
true.
I have a brand new one.
No.
It says right there that the limitation
Evelyn,
is that
You bought one that doesn't have an electric, you bought one not for New England.
I got you there. I understand.
So buy one that's for New England.
It
I want the
depends.
cheapest one.
Depends on what you buy.
That's not going to make you comfortable.
Well, I didn't
you
even know
wanna
that they
save-
had them. So there
wanna
was
save
news
a
to
lot
me.
of
It was
money,
whatever
Ev?
Glenn bought.
Don't buy it at all.
And
Save a
so
ton
when
of
it
money.
got to the 40 degrees, he did use it, and we used it in and we have one in the master bedroom to supplement the gas fireplace. Of course, now you're using electric. So he wanted those to be up in New Hampshire to the house we have up there. I said, I want a heating unit that's in kind of It's flat, it's on the wall,
All I can tell you is
inside, and it
what we
won't
have-
affect.
So,
All through the winter time works perfect.
so let me ask you this, all right, just we'll throw this out there because I don't know the answer. So let's say you currently heat by natural gas, and so you know what your gas bill is. And then you decide.
We have oil.
And then, okay, oil, doesn't matter, you heat by oil or natural gas, and you know what your cost is. Now you've decided, I'm gonna junk that and go all electric. So how much more or less is it going to cost you to heat by electricity, assuming you don't make any modifications to your house? In other words, you re-insulate or anything like that. Is it more expensive to heat with electricity or by gas or oil? I think I know the answer to
I
that.
already know the answer to that. It's more it's
Right.
electricity is the most expensive way to go. It always was.
Yes.
We
I-
had, at town meeting, you weren't privy to some of the comments, not this past town meeting, but one of the past town meetings, not 2025. And whatever was being discussed with the green energy and all of the stuff that they wanted to have and the restrictions on new buildings and that, there were people that got in line that basically said, they heat by electric. They're like $1,800 a month with some of the things.
I was privy to it. I was there, and I'm on the finance committee, and I heard all the advocacy arguments.
Yeah, but they were talking,
was
in
nonsense.
line, they were talking
And it
about
was-
stuff.
Oh, you're talking about,
Private conversations
Yeah,
back and forth.
whispering in line.
Yes. And so everybody thinks that.
it's more expensive to do electricity,
Yeah, that's and it was.
by a
even-
lot.
And it was more expensive even when I was growing up. It was a novel idea to have an all-electric house, but you had cost. And at that time, the cheapest was oil.
No, cheapest was coal.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have coal in new
We
houses.
did. I had coal
The
until I was
cheapest
in.
thing to do was nothing.
Well,
Right.
yeah, and wood.
And we
Depends
froze.
on if you want to have wood fires and pellet stoves.
We had
and
a
all this
coal
other stuff.
furnace, I grew up, we had a coal
talked
furnace
about
in
this
my
last
house
week.
until I was in college.
I had an old Polish guy when I was a
Yep.
kid, used to tell stories during World War II when he lived in Poland. They burned the furniture.
Well, that's what you
Oh,
do.
you
if
burn anything.
You have to.
He says it was so cold, we burned my grandmother's rocking chair. She was crying, but it kept us a little bit warmer. And we burnt all the furniture in the house because there was nothing to use.
No
After
fuel.
World War II, there was nothing.
No fuel. But I think, again, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I have my opinions on this subject, but the one thing that I cling to is if we're going to make these changes, that's okay, I'll live with it, all right? But I want the marketplace to do it. I don't want the government telling me I can't buy a gas-powered car. I don't want the government telling me I
Then vote
can't
them out
have
of
gas
office.
heat.
They're creating
Exactly
laws.
right. No, you're right, John.
The
That's it.
government shouldn't be telling you how fast you can go on the highway. It starts right there.
Well, and the other thing is people should be doing a whole lot more research
Well,
on
that's
who it
the
is that
thing.
they're putting in
That's-
office.
that's the
And they're
thing.
not. And they're not doing any research. They're just taking whatever the media, I don't care what it is, they're taking
Don't
it
listen to
for
the news.
granted
How do
that
we
it's
grow
100%
voters?
true. And
How
it's
do we
not.
grow voters? How do we? In Massachusetts, Democrats always win. Always win. The media loves the Democrats. There's more unenrolled people. They just don't vote. What's
Well-
it going to take to make people vote?
You know,
Well, that's what happened with some of the stuff. I'm sorry to
Go ahead,
interrupt
go
you.
ahead.
In the November election nationally, and the problem with that was that a lot of people didn't get out and vote. They weren't motivated. We were all complaining. The same people have been ripping
Mm-hmm.
off the citizens of the Commonwealth for decades. Yes, and I don't vote for them, but other people do. What was interesting, which is another aside, when we're talking about voting and people and all this other stuff, because we can belabor this oil and electric and gas and talk about all the different stories, but we had the government shutdown. And basically, depending upon if you're a Democrat or Republican, it was the other side's fault.
ridiculous.
But you had Republicans voting to open it, and you had Democrats voting to
And you had
close it.
Republicans voting to not open it,
Right,
too.
and the same thing vice versa.
And it's like I said, it's very simple. Who was responsible for the shutdown? anyone who didn't vote for the continuing resolution. So you had 44 Democrats and 1 Republican who didn't vote for it. They're the ones responsible.
Right. Well,
Period. There's no discussion about that.
Yes, it's a simple thing.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons they chose to have this as, now there's terms for this, but because it's so early in the morning, I'm not thinking of the correct terms. But anyway, this was their red line in the sand type of thing, was that they wanted all the subsidies for
Very
insurance.
foolish.
Now, as you do some research on
Very
the insurance, because if you are in our age brackets, or anybody's for that matter, you do have a window of opportunity to change your health insurance. And you need to do the research and find out which thing is going to benefit your pocketbook the best, because generally speaking, it's the bottom line. There are some things that I'm willing to spend a little bit more on because it gives me more flexibility in what type of care I can get. Like, for instance, do I want to have every time I go to a specialist, do I want to have to go to a primary care physician to get a referral? That's a pain in the butt to try to do that. And then it's up to the insurance company if they're going to accept your referral because of whatever reasons. There's a lot of it, and those details we don't need to get into. But what I want to say is, if you, in light of the last couple of statements that I had said, is that if you do your research on what it is they wanted to have, then you would understand how broken this Affordable Care Act is, because it's not working for the American people.
It's not working for the target class that it was designed to work for.
Well, it's also...
Because most people are not on Obamacare, okay?
Right, but what the problem is that your tax dollars, of those of you out there that do pay taxes, are subsidizing, because you have the ability to pay your taxes, you are subsidizing the Affordable Care Act, because those subsidies that they want to put back in place support Obamacare. It supports that Affordable Care Act. And your rates are going up because you can pay it. And that's your socialized medicine on that level.
Good, let's have a look at these. If you want to, when you finish your mind thought, if we're going to have a look at
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So did the entire Massachusetts delegation vote against the...
Well,
continuing-
Representative Richard Neal,
Yep,
he voted no.
of course he did.
Representative Jim McGovern, accepting a pinky promise to maybe vote, he
They all voted no, John.
voted, it says he voted yes. Voted next.
He voted yes?
I think so.
Okay, there were 6 Democrats in the House that voted yes. 6.
Lori Trahan has a
Right, and
statement.
2 New Hampshire.
Lori Trahan has a statement. We'll see what her statement says.
Okay.
It's on Facebook. Coming up at the speed of Facebook. Congressman, the blah, 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 blah. How did you vote, Lori?
No, God, she's not going to tell you. It's a simple question,
My
isn't it?
thoughts on the deal reached between a handful of senators, blah, 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 blah. I'm reviewing the details. Movement towards...
But when they say she wants to deliver real relief for
She
working
doesn't answer the
families,
question.
this isn't it.
It's all gobbledygook.
Yes.
It's all gobbledygook.
This is all political speak.
Again, if you voted against the continuing resolution, you are responsible for shutting the government down. It's that simple.
I wish they just
okay?
had an X, X
know,
yes or no, but no.
yeah,
no.
oh, forget it.
WBUR, oh yes. There's
forget
a reason we're going out of business. The government is not going
forget
to
it, forget
subsidize us anymore.
Okay, the whole thing was absurd, all right? And, the fact that the Democrats can gaslight the American public into believing that the Republicans are responsible for the shutdown, it's just absurd. It's ridiculous. Again, if you voted for the continuing resolution, then you were in favor of keeping the government open. It's that simple. Now, if you want to have a discussion about why people voted against it, that's a different discussion, okay? But the mechanics of keeping the government open or shutting it down is a vote for or against the continuing resolution. It's just that simple. It's no more complicated than that, okay? And yet, people spin it, and it's ridiculous, all right? Now, I think the Republicans, their messaging wasn't very good, obviously, but, it's still, the facts are the facts, and you can't change them. And I disagree with the president, by the way, who wants to blow up the filibuster.
I don't agree that you should do that
No,
either.
absolutely
Because
not.
somewhere along the line, it's going to come back to bite you.
It's not somewhere. It's not somewhere. The minute the Democrats get the
In
majority,
power.
they will blow up the filibuster because they want to have, they want to add 4 Senate seats to the Senate, and they want to pack the Supreme Court. And that's what they're going to do if they ever get that opportunity. All right? And then once we politicize the Supreme Court to that ability, the country is gone. It's gone, because the Supreme Court is the last stopgap to a complete takeover by a political faction, all right? I mean, if you go back 200 years and you read the Constitution the way it was originally written, we're supposed to have a federal system with checks and balances and shared power. And over the last 150 years, we've chipped away at that, because there are people in this country who think there shouldn't be boundaries, there shouldn't be state boundaries, everything should come from Washington, and that's the direction that we're going in.
This is off of Channel
Yeah.
10 in Boston. I'm keep
10.
looking around.
All right, I'll get off my
Markey said
soapbox.
no. Elizabeth Warren said no. They want to keep the government closed.
Yeah, well, she's a
Anaya
she's a
Presley.
moonbat.
Yes, and I truly believe, and I'd like to know what the audience believes, in the
Yeah.
fact that if you shut down the government and you don't pay your employees, you don't pay
I never-
Congress either.
I never heard of Sheldon. Sheldon Whitehouse.
Well, he's not a Massachusetts.
Peter
Person.
Welch voted no. Seth Moulton. Blah, blah, blah. He's
Oh, he
running,
wants
he's
to get-
running for something. So
Yeah, he wants to get rid of what do you call it? The
He
Schumer.
wants to be president. Moulton wants to be president.
Now, he said he united his caucus to vote no tonight. He hold the line with health care. It doesn't say how he voted. Chicken. Catherine Clark.
She's another moonbat.
I don't get a yes.
And
or
they're
no.
not fighting for the American
No,
people.
they're not.
They're fighting
not.
for their position
Right.
and their power
They're
position.
fighting for their party. They're not down there for the Americans. They're down there for their party.
And themselves.
So everybody, all these
Wait a minute,
Democrats-
back up. Oh, voting no, I'm sorry. I thought Sanders was saying no. Of course he's voting no. Seth Magaziner is from Rhode Island, okay? Ira Magaziner's kid. I dealt with Ira Magaziner.
Well, here's Trahan.
Yeah.
I'm revealing the details, but from the day my focus, lowering the health care.
The only solution that
There's
they
no
have to
answer
lower
here.
the health costs for the American people is to have subsidies and
Right.
have other people pay for
So-
people to have health care.
Let me ask a general
That's
question.
the only reason.
Let me ask a general question, because this is where people, things get murky. Because people we've all been conditioned by our politicians to think the government should do this, the government should do that. We don't grasp the concept that when we say the government should do, what that means is you, Mr. Taxpayer, should dip into your wallet and give more money to whatever it is we're trying
No,
to
it's
do.
just I'm not paying the traffic tolls. What's your takeaway from Lori Trahan on X?
Well, she voted no, but she
That's
didn't.
my takeaway.
But
Yeah.
she didn't come out and say it because she said she keeps pushing for an agreement that helps hardworking Massachusetts families.
Well, she's
afford
trying
their
to play.
healthcare.
She's trying to play both sides.
She's playing the middle
She's
of
not
the
answering
road
the-
by
but-
not committing to yes or no. It's not black and white.
So,
for her.
John, let me ask you a question, okay?
Go right
And this
ahead.
is a thing, and I've been on my soapbox here, and I think this is part of the problem. All right, so let's say, for example, for however it works out, let's say that an agreement is reached because they're going to talk about this in December. All right, that was the deal. Let's say an agreement is reached to extend subsidies for Obamacare and then all the other add-ons.
Yeah.
If that were phrased this way, John McDonough, how much more money are you willing to pay in taxes to support those subsidies? What would your answer be? How much more money are you, Mr. Taxpayer, willing to contribute to that?
Zero.
What's your answer?
Zero.
Zero. Exactly. That's exactly your answer. Okay, but you.
I don't have a say. I don't have a say.
I'm just using you
Neither
as an
do you.
example.
You don't have
okay?
a say either.
Okay, I'm just using you as an example. You have been conditioned to think that if we extend those subsidies, somehow somebody else is going to pay. Or it's
No,
going to
magically it's gonna
or
appear on the-
magically it's
the
no,
tree.
No, you, Mr. Taxpayer, are going to pay, and that's something. That's one difference between the Republicans and Democrats that I think has been fairly consistent. When you listen to a Republican politician, he says that. You, Mr. Taxpayer, will pay. When you listen to a Democrat politician, that they don't say that.
No, they make you feel
It's-
guilty because somebody doesn't have
it's
health
more
insurance.
like an amorphous, somehow the money is going
Well,
to
Sam,
appear
how is
amorphously.
it, how
It's
is it
ridiculous.
okay
Huh?
we're calling illegals Americans?
Say that again?
How is it
Let's-
okay
yeah, but that's changing the
we're
subject.
calling illegals Americans?
They're not Americans.
They're not Americans.
They're
not
being
Amer-
labeled in the media as Americans.
Well, of course they are.
because
How
that-
else are you going to get the general public to be so stupid to believe
Yeah,
it?
they're
Is if
not
they don't give you
Americans.
all brand new terms. First we started with illegal aliens. Then we started with migrants. Then we have some other term. They're trying to find out what sticks so
Because
that
they're from
people
South
aren't up in
America,
arms
they're
about what
called
they're doing.
Americans. Because they're from South America, they're called Americans.
Oh my God! Now we're
Well-
stretching this a little.
It depends, I hate to quote Bill Clinton, but it depends on what American means, okay?
Well, that's where
I mean, people I had this conversation with my granddaughter the other day because she was talking about, she's taking French in
Middle school.
Middle school, okay, so first year for a foreign language. And she said, so she and I are trying to practice her French, right? And so she was saying that in French, when you talk about the United States, the word is America, okay? And I said, well, no, it's not. I said, the word in French, really the technical word is United States, okay? That's really what you're supposed to say. So there's a difference. And so she said, well, the teacher hasn't told us that. The teacher tells us that we have to say l'Amérique, which is America. And I said, well, no, you're supposed to say les États-Unis, which
That's
is the
good.
United
Right.
States. I said, that is
I took
correct.
French.
That is correct. That is the correct term. But she's not been told that. So I said,
Ask her.
That's what I did.
Ask the teacher.
Let me tell you,
Where's this come from?
I am a troublemaker. So I said to my granddaughter, I said, you go back and you ask the teacher that, see what she says. I said, and I want you to come back with the answer, so we'll find out. But,
You do have
Yeah.
bias. Some is really bad, and some is just calmly biased on when you teach languages or you teach in any school system anything that you're going to be teaching.
everybody has
A
their
lot of the
bias.
research. I mean,
Right.
when I got my degree in chemistry, you rarely, except for Madame Curie, you rarely had any women names that ever came up.
Right.
Although there were a lot of them because women were second-class
But
citizens
we learned,
everywhere.
but when I was a kid, we
were
learned about
property.
we learned about Madame Curie.
Yeah, but generally speaking, there's a lot more women out there. But I also had learned that was over 50 years ago, about the women as supports, because that was in some documentation, except that the men got the credit, even though the women were the ones that did the work. But you also had a lot of college
They
students.
probably also typed it up, right?
Well, I'm certainly sure that was part of their job, and they
Yeah.
wanted a job, so they didn't balk
Right.
at it. But you also had a lot of college students that were males, that were men,
Mm-hmm.
that created things, but it was their professors that took the credit.
Oh, that's
Right,
absolutely right.
and so there was, when Glenn was working at a certain company in Massachusetts, and he was doing a whole lot of stuff, some of his superiors, when he got patents, they'd put their name on the patent. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't have anything to do with it, but they put their name on the patent because they were
Now,
above him.
But do you think that may have helped to get the patent granted, to have those names? I mean,
No,
I don't-
because the process of getting a
Case that's
patent has
money.
to do,
Yeah.
Money
it has
down
nothing
the
to do with
road.
the names on it.
All
Sometimes
right.
it does.
I don't know anything about the
Because
patent
Matthew
process.
Matthew has unbelievable numbers of patents.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yes, he has suppressed
Really?
Glenn. And so,
No
with
kidding.
all of those, all of the
Wow.
kids hold something. So, yeah, well, I don't either.
I never invented anything.
It's almost like the youngest one is like, Dad, I have to get more than, but.
That's okay.
And he says that humorously. But people will put their names on his things too, but generally speaking, it's not that those people that are putting their names on hold power someplace. And some people will just do that, and sometimes it may be protocol. I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's interesting.
But anyway, to get back to some of this healthcare stuff and the taxes and all the other stuff, because we're going to run out of time, and I have a bunch of stuff articles that I had sent that I thought some stuff was of interest.
I want to make one comment.
Go ahead.
No, I'll do it after you're done. I want to make one comment about last night's planning board meeting in Chelmsford.
Oh, okay. Well, we can also talk about stuff like that when Vivian comes.
Yep, okay.
There was an article in Kiplinger, and it said, emergency tax bill ends, 6,000 senior deduction and tip overtime tax and breaks in D.C. So if you read the article, what it does is it says that even though you had the big, beautiful bill, you had the states that do not have to, depends on the situation, they do not have to abide by what's in that bill.
So in other words, the devil is in the details, right?
Well, it's in the details within the states, because when some of the states, I think, knew that this was going to pass, they had their own legislation on the taxes that would prevent them or allow them to make choices. So you have Washington, D.C. does not allow the deductions that they had on no tax on tips and on the overtime tax, and there's another credit. New York State doesn't.
Are you talking about business deductions for the companies that pay the wage, or are you talking about the individuals?
The individuals.
Okay.
That's the way the article presented
All right.
itself.
Okay.
If I'm incorrect, I'll go back and reread the article. And I would suggest you read the article,
I
because
will.
I thought it was really fascinating. It's
I
a
will.
long article. So it went through the different states. New York State is another one. They are not accepting the deduction of no tax on tips, and and I would assume
But
that comes to the business that they're supposed to report it.
But you're talking about, as it affects, the state government cannot disallow a deduction from your federal tax. They can say, we're not going to carry that over to our state tax.
I'm only telling you what the article was.
That's likely what they're saying.
Yeah, they can't. Massachusetts can't tell a Massachusetts citizen who pays federal income tax that they are not allowed to take a deduction off their 1040 that the federal government allows. They can't do that.
Massachusetts is too greedy to do such a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'm going to.
All right.
You can read this, and I'm going to.
I will, because that's not going anywhere.
Sam, you want to read these?
Yeah, back in 2010, the Republicans told us they were against Obamacare. They voted for it anyway. Why should we trust them any more than we trust the Democrats?
Good thinking.
Okay. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans who hate this country. Yes, there are, unfortunately. Just look at the people protesting against what? Against
Many are paid.
what?
Yes, well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They're getting money for this.
Healy could find dollars for the illegals, but not for starving citizens. All BS.
Okay, now,
Yep.
if you're coming over the Rourke Bridge this morning
That's,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's closed.
and you live in Pawtucketville, do you want to tell the story, Ev, or you want me to tell the story?
Nope.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That's
The right-hand lane, so you're coming from Pawtucketville, and you're coming over to the Highlands, you can't take a right. I know you want to bring your kid to that school, but tough cookie.
Why
They're
not?
not going to let you,
Why not? What's the problem?
because there's a sewer problem there.
Oh, okay.
So the city of Lowell has decided at 7:30 a.m., they're going to shut down the right-hand turn off the Rourke Bridge coming from Pawtucketville to the Highlands. So you come over the bridge from Pawtucketville, you're trying to bring your kid to school. Nay, you cannot do this. So
Yep.
what you can do is, this is going to be a cluster of traffic you
Yeah.
couldn't believe this morning. So
And you're not going to know until you get there,
bring
right?
little Sam or little
Yeah.
Evelyn to school a half an hour early, because you're going to be. And also,
That's too bad.
put a box of Cheez-Its in your armrest
We do that.
so
Anyway.
you have a snack.
If we have, with grandchildren, my wife always has snacks in the car.
Yep, good to have snacks
Yep,
in the car.
Yep.
So coming from Pawtucketville, the Rourke Bridge, If you can avoid that area, it'd be good. Again, coming from Pawtucketville,
Now,
taking a right-hand turn on Middlesex Street will be impossible today, thanks to a water issue that I'll bet you the city of Lowell's not fixing. They've hired somebody to fix it for us.
let me ask you this. So, do you have in Lowell a reverse 911 system that will notify residents of this in advance, or do you just have to wait till you get there and get stuck in the traffic?
That depends on the genius. That'd be the shitty manager. The shitty manager will decide who's going to be notified by
All right, but-
reverse
So
911.
the answer is he doesn't know.
So,
I
yeah,
don't know.
all right, but you're not signed up
But I like
for
to
it.
pick on the shitty manager.
But you're not signed up for a 911 reverse?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are, okay. So,
But
they
I
do
don't
have-
live in that neck of the woods, so
He wouldn't know.
Might figure,
If they
well, I don't have any
notified.
kids going to that school, so why should I know?
Okay, so in answer to your question
ahead.
to the article, the states, you still have to do the federal, so you're fine on federal.
yeah, that's what I said.
Right, but the states don't have to include it.
Exactly.
So what it is it says that at least 4 states will accept most of the Big Beautiful Bill individual return provisions in 2025. At least 4 will accept, most. Iowa, Montana, North Dakota, and Oregon. Several states won't. California, Connecticut, Hawaii, and Massachusetts.
What a shock.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking when I read it. Waiting in the wings are states like Georgia, Maryland, and South
Okay.
Carolina, which plan to address changes
All
to
right.
their state tax codes in 2026. So what it does is that you have to watch what's going on if you fall
right,
into
so-
any of those categories on your state
Let's-
income tax.
Let's translate that for people and make it simple. All right, you're a taxpayer, you're a wage earner, and you are a non-exempt employee, which means you are eligible to get overtime, right? So you work overtime. So what Evelyn just said was that in those 4 states, when you fill out your federal tax, you will not be taxed at the federal level for your overtime. But when you report that income on your state income tax, the state will tax it. That's what that
Yes.
says.
Now,
Okay?
Sam, furthermore, on this
Yeah.
issue, President Trump promised no tax on Social Security. Is that going to be in effect this year? And how will Massachusetts deal with that?
There's a cap on that. And then it goes away after a certain amount of time, and I can look that up
Right.
to answer your question.
Right, it depends on how much income you earn.
Right. It isn't a blanket.
Right. Well, the
Um,
same thing's true for the overtime, okay? There's a cap limitation on the overtime as well.
Right. Well, that's because that's what Congress put in there. He can say anything he wants, but it's up to Congress to write whatever it is and then
Right.
to vote for the
Well,
legislation.
with all due respect to the president, he doesn't always accurately describe his programs, okay?
Yeah, well,
we'll
he
just
does
say
what
that.
you think you're going to
A
get
lot of
votes
it's
on.
PR. I mean, the intent is there. A lot of it's PR. You know, a lot of the stuff
And
isn't
as far as
accurate.
Washington D.C.
Right.
goes, the city council had passed an emergency amendment. It's only good for 90 days, and it will have to be voted on. So there are different things within
Right.
states. But when you read, for instance, Michigan, Rhode Island, and Illinois decoupled from specific business tax cuts, like the 100% bonus depreciation and R&D provisions, because the total cost would be over $38 billion. So the states are trying to stay afloat.
Right.
And they have to, because this is their revenue.
Well, the states can't print money, okay? The states have to balance their budget.
Let's stick on the issue. So,
Right.
Social Security,
Oh, you want me to look it up?
Yeah, what's the cap on Social Security?
All right. Because then I have
Yeah.
a light article. Okay. Cap.
So, yeah,
the states can't print money. We know that, Sam.
right?
They overspend like crazy. They have how did they have a rainy day fund with $1 billion in it, and nobody down the State House said a word? Shh.
Because they take in excess revenue over what they spend. That's how you get your rainy day fund.
Now,
It's very
they're
simple.
looking for transparency. They want to see Donald Trump's dirty shorts on every single turn. But when it comes to looking at the state's books, no transparency.
All right, here's your answer.
What's the answer?
All right, it's complicated.
Of
What else
course.
is new? For 2025, Social Security benefits may be taxable for single filers with a combined income over 25,000, and for those married, 32. So if
All
you're
right.
married and filing jointly, your benefits may be taxed if your combined income is more than
All right,
32,000.
okay. So really, what that tells me is this no tax on Social Security is a benefit for people whose only income is Social Security.
So basically, we're paying
Right.
taxes, because the next
Exactly.
thing goes,
Yeah.
the 1993 legislation said higher thresholds were up to 85% of your benefits may be taxable. For single filers, this is over 34,000, and for those filing jointly, it's over 44,000. But there's a whole lot of it, so if you ask Google, or look it up, there's a lot of details here.
So
Based on what Evelyn said, most of us will be disappointed.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to continue to pay taxes on my Social Security.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about
Yeah,
that.
and so will we.
Yep.
And again, that's the ability to pay. And when you take a look at, when you're in our age bracket and on the Medicaid thing, you have Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, and depending upon your income level, you may or may not be paying Part
Right.
D. But if your income level exceeds a certain amount, you're paying Part D. And when you pay Part D and you complain about it, they basically say, well, you have the ability to pay for other people. So you do have,
Well,
the socialism thing has
That's-
already crept into
Oh, listen,
everything.
we've had socialism in this country since the 1930s. People don't understand that, okay? It's just a degree, as time marches on, it becomes more intense, all right? The whole idea of progressive taxation is that the people who make more money can afford to have some of that money taken away from them so it can be given to the people who have less money. That's the whole idea behind progressive socialism, all right? It's that simple. It's not complicated, all right? It's not complicated. When President Obama ran for president the first time, he famously said, I forget, they were interviewing somebody, and he famously said to a constituent, well, we need to spread the wealth around. So if you've got $100,000, you don't need $100,000, you only need $50,000. So we're going to take some of that money away, and we're going to give it to the poor guy over here who's only got $10,000.
Are we giving it to the illegals?
All right? Well, in some cases, we are, yes, and always have been.
So
But,
I would like to make this
you know.
statement, when you made a comment about something, and it did
Yeah.
spark a
Yeah.
question.
Well, now we're really
I want to
into the-
read this.
We're into the philosophy now.
Well, I'm going to be into the details.
Okay, go ahead.
The top 1% of taxpayers paid 40% of federal income
Correct.
taxes.
It's always been that
And
way.
the question is that fair? When they say they're paying their fair share, what is their fair share?
Okay.
All of it? 50% of it?
Read down in the article, and it's going to tell you that almost half the people pay no income tax. Keep
The
reading.
top 50% of all
Yep.
taxpayers paid nearly 97% of all federal income taxes. The top 10% paid 72%.
Yep.
So how they've done it is they are paying their fair share.
Yes, always have been.
But people like to use that term because they think you're stupid and you're not going to look
Hey,
this
Vivian,
up.
right there, thanks.
Anyway, that's where we're at. I want to
Yeah.
go on to something light. I thought it was a cute
Go ahead.
article.
You got 5 minutes before Vivian comes in.
Well, or whatever.
Sam, you want to go get Liv? Because
Well,
by the
yeah,
time I
she's-
get out there, we have to go to break.
You want me to get what?
Let Evelyn in. And make yourself a new
Let
coffee.
Vivian in.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got it.
That's what I meant to say. Do you want to
Close
make another
So-
coffee?
Evelyn, Vivian, same thing. All right.
Different size.
Now, see, Evelyn, you locked the door. I have to go let her in.
Well, I was told to.
You got to lock the door.
Right. So anyway, was an article. I thought it was cute. We're always into some heavy information unless we talk about food. We did not go
Sam
to a
must live
senior
in a
center
barn.
this year.
Doesn't close the
It's
door,
all right.
Sam.
People are just learning what a baby turkey is called. This was an article. I thought it was adorable. It also told eventually like how many turkeys there are. But they said that a lot of people don't realize what a turkey is. Now, we're coming up to Thanksgiving, and that's why I'm talking about this article. And usually people have turkey at Thanksgiving or at Christmas. Some people like to have it, it's a cheap form of protein, and some people like to have it during the year. They're out there all the time. But a lot of people don't realize turkeys can fly, and they are capable of high-speed runs, and they possess over 5,000 feathers, and they have a whole lot more sounds than just gobbling. So there are names for everything, just like there are in every other animal in that we have, and it said that male turkeys, usually we call them tom turkeys. However, if they're younger, they're called jacks. If you have, obviously we know that the female turkeys are called hens, but that if you have the younger turkeys, they're called jennies. Well, then the babies could be called chicks, but there's also a term poult, P-O-U-L-T, that they seem to be more commonly used for domesticated young birds. So I thought that that was kind of interesting because this was an article in IFL Science, and it was all about turkeys and why we don't eat turkey eggs instead of chicken eggs. Even though they taste the same, it's because they don't produce eggs as fast as chickens, and they require, because they're a bigger bird, a lot more food, so they're more pricey. And so they occupy a lot more space, food, and they don't mature as fast. Good morning. So Vivian is with us. You need to change the A to E on her last name, John. And
Oh.
it's okay.
That's all right.
So there,
Just another pseudonym, it's all good.
Well, on Facebook, it's Nerrells.
That's right. I have many personalities. I use them all.
That's all right.
so they said that they once thought that there were 30,000 turkeys left in the wild, but now they number around 6.5 million.
All the turkeys are in the state legislature.
Well, that's too bad that they talk about it that way. And so then they wanted me to continue to find out what a baby anteater was thing. But I thought that was a cute little article all about turkeys, because we're always talking about such heavy topics. So that was that one. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else that
Have
we...
any heavy turkeys?
Oh, yeah. So there's also the article out there that the renovation and rebuilding of Lowell High School, they're running out of money.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yep, and...
What a shock.
So Vivian, fixing your name, is Vivian okay?
Vivian is good.
So what's the matter with Merrill?
Yeah, it's a E, not an A.
M-E.
Legally.
And
So-
we're fine.
Sorry.
So we're going to be coming up to break. We'll probably break for
Look at you with these snazzy new microphones.
30,
You like
30
those?
seconds.
Yeah, we'll put this a little closer to you.
E.
There you go.
So, and then don't forget, we're probably going to do some form of announcements. Maybe we'll talk about food.
We're going to do announcements. I'm shocked.
Yeah, at 20 past 7. His alarm will go off.
And I will be leaving early
When do you leave,
Because of the
Sam?
announcements?
because of the, no, I have a, I
We'll be
have,
back, thanks.
I have to be in a restaurant.
Welcome back to City Life. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I'm your host up until just before 8 o'clock. Sam Chase is my co-host this morning. John McDonough is behind the camera, sometimes on the camera. You can hear his voice in the background. Our guest this morning is Vivian Merrill. Thanks, Vivian.
Hey, you're welcome.
for coming. And we're always going to PR all the stuff that you do. I think that John could take a look and see if those flyers are available for the holiday lighting ceremony, and that is, what date is that going to be?
December 7th.
Oh, boy.
The 7th, late
I want to
summer.
put this out to the Lowell crowd. If you're coming over the Rourke Bridge this morning, towards, from Pawtucketville, towards the Highlands, you're going to be disappointed you cannot take a right-hand turn. They don't care your kids going to school there. You can't take a right, so be prepared if you're driving little Evelyn to school this morning, or little Vivian. You can't take a right, and they don't care. You have to bring your kid to school. Tough cookie.
Take the day off.
So,
Cut through Market Basket, you'll be
coming
fine.
coming over the Rourke Bridge from Pawtucketville to the Highlands, you can't take a right off the bridge towards
Yeah.
North Chelmsford.
Come this
Sorry,
way.
thank you, shitty Lowell. Back to you guys.
Okay, so you can check that email and see about those flyers while we're talking about different things. So you wear many hats, and which is great because we have all kinds of topics we can talk about. But we do have the holiday prelude coming up. How is that
Yes, we
going?
do. So far, it's going pretty well. Biggest thing I need right now is someone to play the voice of Piney, the talking Christmas tree. He doesn't seem to be very popular. He had laryngitis last year because we couldn't find his voice. So if anybody wants to pretend they're a tree for 2 hours and
I know people who
effectively
think,
say whatever you want.
I know people who think they're a tree, so if we find those people, we'll be in good
You
shape.
hook me up, okay?
Not something I'm going to do.
Yeah, we'll have Santa's house. We have things going on at the schoolhouse. We'll do a food pantry drive. There'll be a box at the schoolhouse. And they may set up a table somewhere else in the event. They haven't committed yet, but they're thinking about it. We'll also be collecting clothing and stuff for the Wish Project. That collection box will also be in the schoolhouse. The Toll House will be open. They'll serve cocoa and some cookies there. The Lions Club's coming. They'll have some cocoa and cookies. We've got Boy Scouts doing another thing with cocoa. We'll have a DJ in the center. Trying to get the Rotary to set up a table also in the center, right around Piney. And we'll have the big stage set up next to the Toll House. There'll be a bunch of bands and performers doing that. They'll do the countdown to the tree lighting. Trees get lit at 5 o'clock, and then we have another hour. We got a bunch of wagons that will give people rides around the common and stuff this year. We were not able to get horses because everybody else is doing a holiday prelude too, so it's very hard to.
Gonna do tractors instead?
Yeah, we're going to do tractors.
More dependable.
I think so,
Clear.
especially the way that people like to run around across the street and not pay attention to what's coming at them.
Horses are dangerous.
I mean, thank God the
Yeah.
horses were bulletproof because they were just awesome. But this year we're just going to stick with tractors, and that's okay. And that event will kick off at 4. We'd love to have some help unloading trucks for equipment and then reloading them after the event if you want to stay low key. And it's free to the public. There are some paying things going on. There's a bake sale fundraiser for next year's Prelude happening. There is a artisan fair happening near the old mill house, and then some of the businesses will be open doing their usual thing. And that's about it. It's a good time. It attracts a big crowd. Everybody pray for good, clear weather,
Yes.
because if it sleets again, we will have to cancel it. But snow, will probably let it go. Rain, but pray for good weather.
It's a good
Ice is
time.
not good either.
Now, do you
No.
have a Santa Claus?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good, good.
Yes,
All
yeah.
right.
And I was looking for a backup in case something happened to
I-
him, but,
Yeah, because I think didn't I see on Facebook that you,
yeah, that was one of my chores.
yeah,
that if
you
someone
were
could
trying
be
to
a
line
backup.
somebody up?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
good.
And this is your last year running it?
It is. I
So-
need a break.
Yep.
How
so-
many years have you been doing it?
I want to say at least 12.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
That's above and beyond the call of duty.
And it's like, I just
Yeah.
need a break for a few years.
Absolutely.
Catch up on other parts of my life that I've been neglecting and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the prelude. The other thing that we'll be doing is on Monday night, the Dog Park Advisory Committee and Chelmsford Dog Association will be before the Select Board, asking to increase the minimum age of children that are allowed into the park. At least 6. We feel that's a little bit low, especially since a lot of people are bringing their baby carriages in there.
That's not,
We've been lucky that nothing has happened that we know of to any kids, which is good. But we would like to raise the minimum age to 10. So that's the average of what's been done in other area dog parks. We were one of the first dog parks in the area, so we were kind of like making things up as we went along.
wait a minute, let me understand something. So you wanted to change something, so you actually researched to see what other dog parks were doing?
Yeah.
Well, that's a radical idea. We don't usually do that in Massachusetts. We usually say, hey,
Sorry.
we're Chelmsford. We'll do it our way. No. Well, hats off to you. Because
thank you.
in my way of thinking, that's what you do. When you want to address an issue, look around to see what everybody else is doing. Not that you're going to go exactly their way, but at least you get an idea of what is maybe reasonable and what has worked in other communities, and I think that's a good baseline. So, it's very good. Good on you for doing that, okay?
Sam,
Good on Arthur,
can
he
you
did
read
it.
this?
No,
Too
it's
small?
too small.
Too small. I can read the first
That's
four
as
lines.
big as I can make it. So are these on Facebook?
They're also on the town website and in the
So
select
for
board's
more information
package
about the
Monday.
holiday prelude, because the type's too small, or you can walk over to your
Yeah.
TV set, take a picture of this.
Yeah.
Tell you what's going on.
Pull out your magazine.
So you have your schedule up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have, if people want to give to the food bank, Chelmsford Food Bank, that will be,
There'll be a collection box in the old schoolhouse.
so there's an old schoolhouse on the Commons. It's a
Yep,
small building.
Right on the corner of Academy
And
and
if you want to
Westford.
make any donations to the Wish Project,
Same thing.
same thing. If you want to know what the list would be to the Wish Project, that's also online. It's also on Facebook. So there's
It's on the-
different
It's
items
on the
they look
town's
for.
website, she said.
Wish Project is not
Yeah.
on the town website.
I'm only talking about the holiday
Holiday
prelude.
Yes, and at the holiday prelude, they have two,
And I'm not talking about anything else but the
that's what I'm
holiday
talking about.
prelude.
And I'm talking
And
about the same
I'm gonna change the
thing.
slide now.
Are you two married?
No, but we've known each other a long time.
Okay, so
That's good.
the second one, Evelyn, now please just speak to what's on the screen.
There we go.
I was speaking to what was on the screen before.
No, you weren't, you went off topic.
Yeah, that's
I
why
didn't go
help
off
wanted
topic.
this.
Okay, we're still talking about the holiday prelude and tree lighting, right?
And things you can do.
That's as big as I can do.
That's okay.
Talk about the tree lighting.
Yeah, like I said, before the prelude, we're gonna be decorating the bushes and stuff along the common. Probably the weekend after Thanksgiving, the DPW will take care of the poles and the snowflakes. They'll do,
Beautiful
they'll do
last
some
year.
other stuff, yeah,
Very
those
nice.
worked out really well. The snowflakes are funny because you look at them and they look like, oh my God, these things are gonna blow away, but they don't.
I know.
They
That's-
hold up there.
That's what we thought, when my wife and I first saw it, we thought, oh, that's beautiful, but is this gonna hold up? And they did. Yeah,
Yep.
they did.
They-
Maybe because there's enough
Yeah.
space
They're
for
going
the
on
air
year
to go
3.
through.
Yeah,
They're not solid.
So, one thing I will mention is we actually have 2 trees.
yes,
Okay, so there's one that's dead center, and then there's one that's right off North Road, and I can remember maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right around Christmas time, and we're going through the center of town, the trees are on, and my granddaughter, the middle granddaughter, Violet, she says, you know, we saw the first tree, and my wife said, oh, there's the Christmas tree, it's all lit up, you know, and oh, that's nice, and then we go around the corner, and Violet sees the second tree, and she said, well, what's this one? And my older granddaughter says, oh, well, that's the backup Christmas tree.
So Vivian, if somebody
I
wants
thought that
to,
was pretty good, yeah, the backup
Viv,
tree.
if somebody wants to help you, your cell
Yeah.
phone number's up there, you can, if they want to
I-
help out. Is it
Yeah.
too late to sign up, or you
it
need?
is not, it is not. I take calls I take calls all through the event.
So if you want to help out, Vivian's cell phone number's right there.
If you can see it.
her a call.
978-973-9596.
Yeah, and so I'm going to go to the last slide now. And this talks about,
Okay, that's a little better.
That's the general announcement, events 4 to 6 in Town Center and Common.
and it's free?
Mostly.
Right, you may have to buy the cocoa. I remember
No,
when,
the cocoa's free.
with all
Yeah.
of them?
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, that's
cool.
great.
Because I know that way back, Dennis Reddy started with the cocoa and a few other
Yep.
odds and ends, and
Yep.
he brought thermoses full of cocoa
Yes, I
until
remember
and gave it away until it was it was gone, and there
that's
was no
good.
refilling. So it was kind of interesting. So maybe he set the tone for all of these other people doing hot cocoa.
So December 7th,
Yes. First Sunday of the month.
4 to 6 p.m., tree lighting. That'll be fun.
If you
It
want to
is.
help me
Thanks,
unload
Viv.
trucks, be there at 2.
It's a good time.
Thanks,
Everyone-
Vivian.
Yep. You always get good attendance for that, too.
As long as it's not raining.
Right.
Now, are you having Christmas parties at the dog park?
I believe they are planning a photos with Santa event, but I don't know the date.
Okay, so there is
Yeah.
more stuff going on with the dog park, and if we figure out what that might be, we'll make an announcement here too.
Thank you.
So you just let us know, and then we'll put something up for you.
So Santa comes to the dog park, does he?
He does.
Oh,
He
great.
does. He traipses through the mud and the muck and the mire and
Good for him.
gets jumped on. It's awesome.
I'm
Gotta
sure,
like
I'm
dogs.
sure the dogs enjoy it.
Yeah,
They
you
do.
just gotta like the dogs, that's
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so you wear other hats. So one of the hats that you had, you actually made it to the permanent building committee,
I did.
right?
I gotta
And
train
so,
them.
and so what is your take on some of the stuff that's going on?
Can I ask
with
a
regard-
question?
What?
Are you on the permanent building committee?
No, I just do that.
Or you're the steno?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay.
But everybody has an opinion. She is the general public. She
While
lives in
she's
Tewksbury.
processing that question, can you read the bottom one and the top one, Sam?
What is what is the favorite side dish on Thanksgiving from the panel? Jay. Piney had laryngitis. Maybe he got some needles stuck in his throat. Bada boom. I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
What does
All
that
right.
mean?
Well, why don't we focus on the first thing?
I don't know what
Because we understand what that question, right? I don't know. Evelyn, what's your favorite side dish? Right?
Gravy on my turkey.
There you go.
Well, I didn't think gravy was a side dish.
Well,
Well, that's my answer.
That's his answer.
That's your
You can give me a
answer.
0
What's
if
your
you want,
favorite
but that's
side?
my answer.
What's your favorite side
What's your
dish?
side dish? Pot?
So would side dish be
Oh,
considered?
what a look I just got from her.
Would side dish be considered anything other than the turkey, right?
Yes,
Like a
well, you've
vegetable.
got a lot of stuff. I mean, I
Right.
like the stuffing.
Okay.
You
So
know, but
stuffing.
I definitely will always have the
So
mashed
I would say
potatoes.
squash.
What about you? Favorite side dish?
I don't really have one.
You like it all, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And if I don't want it, I won't eat it. Pie. Here we go. Let's go with pie.
okay. That's a dessert, but we'll take that.
Blueberry pie's good.
If we're going to include
Yes.
pie, I will say pumpkin pie.
So we had, where we have the second house up in New Hampshire, last weekend, one of the neighbors.
We didn't know you had a second house.
I talk about the house we have in New Hampshire all the time.
You know, keep this up. She's
It's a
going to
good
file
thing-
for divorce.
It's a good, it's a.
I don't think Evelyn ever said second house, though. I think that's the confusion, right? All right.
We
I
have
got it.
another location.
Yeah. She always talked about her New
Anyway,
Hampshire
it's a good thing
house.
you have inherited money, or I wouldn't have it. So anyway, so they had a Friendsgiving.
Birds.
And what they did was they had a trash can turkey.
What?
Have you ever had a trash can turkey?
No, never heard of it.
Anybody out there ever had
No.
a trash can turkey? So what they did was they took the 24-pound turkey, and there was like some kind of inside a small trash can like this, metal, obviously, trash can, like what you put ashes in from your
The
fireplace.
old-fashioned trash
Right,
can.
they flipped it upside down. They
Yeah.
suspend the turkey inside. Then they have all the charcoal that they've lit all around, and then you put some on the well, it's the bottom of it, but the top.
It's like a smoker.
Yeah,
Sort
that's
of
what-
like that, with an oven.
Yeah, that's what it
And
sounds
so you don't open it up and you don't do anything for at least 2 hours. And usually after 2 hours or 2.5 hours, that 24-pound turkey is cooked. It tasted really good, and it was very moist.
Has anybody ever had a fried turkey?
Yes, I have. It's really good too.
Is it good?
I have.
I
You
want
fry
to
it
try
in peanut
that.
oil.
Yeah, I'd love to try
Very
that.
dangerous.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to make sure there's no water on the turkey. It'll
Do it
explode.
outside.
Well, you always do it outside.
Yeah, do
you
it
never do
outside.
it
And
inside.
make
And don't
sure
do it on a
that
deck.
The
Do it far away from
displacement
your
does
house.
not overflow the pot.
Yeah, you got to make sure everything works, because other than that, you got a real
Yeah.
mess on your hands.
Don't drop the frozen turkey into the hot peanut oil. That's
No,
not.
that doesn't work either.
That's
That
not
will
recommended.
explode.
Yes.
You'll have a huge fire.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then everybody brought the sides and all the different things that we did. So it's amusing. I do have a reputation. So at the end, one of the guys says to
I'm not
the
touching
host, to the hostess, "Are you going to use the carcass to make soup?" And she goes, "No." And then a few minutes later, he goes, "Maybe you should ask Evelyn if she'd like it." So I ended up
You gotta have
making
turkey.
turkey soup again.
You
So-
gotta have turkey soup
Yep.
after Thanksgiving. That's
Yep.
almost a law, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that.
It
I do
was
that
in
with
our
chickens.
family.
I boil the chickens down,
Yeah.
make the carcasses, if you want to call it that, all the bones and stuff. And then I also take, once you do that, if there's any meat left on the bones, I take that off, throw that in the soup. So nothing, very little ever gets wasted. in our house. You would think that I actually grew up in the Depression, which I did not. Not that old.
Yeah, but you grew up with parents who lived through the Depression, so it's
Well, I also grew
pretty
up
much
with a
the
father
same.
that grew up on a farm that had like nothing.
Right.
And so, everything counted. And I know that will drive some people nuts that everything counted. But John, you made the comment about the squash, and one of the sides I made for that event was butternut squash. But I had the stick of butter in it, I had maple syrup, and I had cinnamon. Tastes really good. Everybody liked that.
The
And I
squash up at Good Times is delicious.
Yeah,
and I
squash is
made
good.
green
There's
bean
so many
casserole.
different kinds.
I think
Oh, yeah,
that it's
yeah.
the only time we usually
My
have a
sister
green
Kathy
bean
makes that
casserole.
up. Might be my sister Lisa, but it's awesome when we have that.
So in the green bean casserole, when I do that,
There's
I have
almonds and stuff in it.
you can, but
Yep.
because there's so many allergies, I don't put the almonds in it. Everybody does something different. So what I do is I have a layer of the green beans that I have already rolled with the cream of mushroom soup. And the only mushroom soup to use really is Campbell's. I've tried the store brands, I don't like them. And then I have a pound of mushrooms. So I chop up the mushrooms. So when I put the layer of green beans, I put a layer of chopped up mushrooms and then a layer of the fried onion rings. And then I make another layer.
That sounds good.
And that comes up really good because you've got a lot of mushrooms in it. And sometimes
So
I've done.
you take the typical recipe and you add mushrooms as well?
Yes, you elevate it.
There are a lot of allergies to mushrooms too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't heard anybody, I have not come across anyone that has had one. And what I've also done, depending upon who's going to eat it, I didn't do it this time because some people don't like it, I put onions in it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I have real onions,
Yep.
not the fried onions
Yep.
stuff.
I would
and
do
do
that.
that. So, and then I made mashed potatoes. So what do you do after the fact with all this stuff if it's left over? And I had the soup. So I made
Tupperware.
the traditional turkey soup with, the carrots and the celery and the onions, and I had mushrooms in that. Then I took and I had more broth left over, so I added the rest of the squash and the rest of the potatoes to that. Well, it comes up really good. And so what I'm going to do is take some of that and thicken it a little bit.
Do you puree the whole thing?
Yep. And then I'll use some of that
It gives you a thick soup.
because I bought butternut squash ravioli. So I'll take some of the soup, make it as a thicker sauce, and we'll have that as a
How
meal
many
to-
are at the feast of the soup?
Nobody. Nobody's going to be at the feast of the soup because
So
I'm not.
you're the only one eating this soup.
No, Glenn
So you
is
have
too.
one
So
big
what I
yummy
did-
bowl,
So I had.
a cauldron.
I have like 2 gallons of soup. So what the heck do you do with 2 gallons
You
of
have a
soup?
straw.
You eat it.
So I have quart-size containers.
Yes.
And so I created enough of those so that I could hand those out to some of the people up at the other location.
My daughter-in-law does the same thing. She'll
Yeah.
make like a quart-sized thing. And
Well, when I made my
Delicious.
last chicken soup, I gave a quart to Sam, a candy.
was
So
good.
they had soup.
nice.
So I have all kinds of stuff that I do. Now
I
that we've talked about
accept
food.
any free food. That's my philosophy. So whenever Evelyn comes over and does dinner, and she usually does the cooking, we always have leftovers, and I will accept all leftovers because I like free food, That's just my
not a bad
philosophy.
Some
thing.
of it's really good.
It-
So,
oh, yeah. Especially that apple,
the Swedish apple pie.
that's good, yeah.
And I vary that recipe too sometimes
Yep.
with what's in it. Depends on what I've got in stock that I have to get rid of.
Oh,
like you
okay.
open up the
So
refrigerator.
now I know, all right?
Well, if I don't have enough flour, then what I do is I will add the almond flour in lieu of it. When I made the dish what we had today, today I made an almond Danish with cranberries in it. I didn't have flour for the recipe, so I added coconut flour to it. Because coconut flour is a very dry flour, so I wanted to, and I knew from the past that it was more runnier, so it worked very well. So there's coconut flour in that, what you ate.
Reading this one, Ev?
Most Italians have baked manicotti. Gabagoo. Who
Most
is this?
Idialans
With
have
string
baked
beans,
manicotti.
then the bird.
Is that what it
I've
says?
made manicotti.
Manicotti's delicious.
Yes.
It is good.
Yes, but I haven't made it in a while. I made it because it was cost effective when we had like no money. We ate a lot of Italian food. It was easy because then you
A
get
lot
higher
of pasta.
protein. Well,
Does
yeah.
anybody do anything with spam? I see spam having ads on Facebook now, trying to push their products.
Make
Spam.
omelets out of it, grilled cheese,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Good stuff.
normally use it because it's so high in salt.
Yeah, it's very high in salt.
I'd rather eat bacon. So I made quiche, and when I make the quiche,
So
I
I'll
add
take it as a
bacon.
no, you don't have any spam dishes, thank you.
We grew
Not
up,
for, no, because we never did.
we grew up on it
He's
as
all
a
done with
kid.
you.
We
But they're
had,
pushing it on the uneducated youngsters on Facebook.
we had spam as a kid all the time.
Yeah, so did we, because it was a cheap food.
Yep.
We have it now.
My father talked about it as part of the stuff that they had as the MR. what are
The MREs,
The
yeah.
MREs when he was in
Yep.
the Marine Corps.
Yep. We had
So,
that in the Army,
The
too.
standard Thanksgiving dinner that we've been used to is obviously you got the turkey. You've got the stuffing. Stuffing can vary.
Mm,
And
love
then you've got gravy. And you have mashed potatoes.
Most of us just show up, we don't do anything.
I understand that, but you're eating something.
Yeah.
So you have mashed potatoes.
Whatever's there.
You have squash. It could be butternut squash. It could be Hubbard squash, which is a winter squash, harder to peel. We always used to have peas and carrots.
yes. Growing
I
up,
don't
we-
I love
normally do
peas.
that, and so I substituted that with the green bean casserole.
A lot of people don't like peas and carrots mixed together.
If
They'll eat
they're
them-
fresh, you do.
They'll eat them separately. but
I
when you put
prefer
them
frozen green giant peas.
Yeah,
Oh,
I,
there
yeah.
you go.
You want them very fresh. Well, the green beans I usually put in there are not canned. My father always used the canned; they were mushy.
I'm
I
just
always
on
like the
peas
frozen.
right now, frozen
together. There you go.
green giant peas.
So,
Now,
Love it.
Vivian, at Thanksgiving dinner, is there something different that you do than what we've been talking about?
Not really.
It's kind of standard. It's
and do,
probably-
and do
it's-
you do it? Are you
Yeah.
the primary cook for Thanksgiving?
How many
For
do you
that meal,
usually
yeah.
have for Thanksgiving dinner?
Nobody. It's just the immediate family.
family.
That's
Well,
it.
that's how many? How many? How many is
4.
your immediate family?
Yeah, I mean, we usually have 4 people.
Oh, well, that's
There you
small.
go.
Yeah.
If we have immediate family, we're up into the 14 to 16 type. You know, it depends on if there's new people each year or somebody brings somebody that doesn't come for some reason. But we haven't had one of those in a while, so,
We
you
do
know.
we usually eat around 2. I go to work for 5 and life is good.
There you go.
Where do you go to work at 5?
Walgreens.
Okay. Oh, I see you over there.
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
Everybody's in a good mood that night.
At
They're
the
on their way
corner
to
of
the next party.
Chesford and Plain. Vivian behind the register.
Yep.
There you go.
But we're closing in on 20 people as the immediate family. Depends if my mother comes or she doesn't come. She's 104, and I
Well,
did
you
see.
should go to her.
I'm not going to eat Thanksgiving dinner
Oh,
at a.
Bring her the meal, that's all.
I don't know. About
And they have a Thanksgiving thing at the facility,
I'm not doing
right?
Thanksgiving, so
Yeah.
it won't. It's not my house.
After all this.
Yeah, I'm not doing Thanksgiving. I'm going to my youngest son for Thanksgiving,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, my daughter does it.
Begrudgingly,
that
she's
many.
going to her son's house.
but it won't be.
She'd rather be in charge.
Well, at Christmas is a little different, but we'll talk about that after Thanksgiving because
Good, let's
that has
wait,
varied, quite a bit
Let's
as,
not talk
as
about
we've
Christmas
moved around
just yet.
here.
Yeah.
Wait a
Any-
second, wait a second.
Oh, John, what
Gonna
about
give
your
Sam
announcement?
this one.
Beef stew, chicken noodle soup, seafood chowder. Rate them 1, 2, 3, go. You know, I forgot about the chowder. Yes, a lot of people do either clam chowder or seafood chowder for Thanksgiving, and that's something that I really like. Either one. Yeah.
I'll have to make you mine.
Yeah.
You haven't had mine.
Your what?
Yet.
Seafood chowder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seafood chowder, I have to push away from the table.
I
'cause
love it.
I don't enjoy it like other people. But the other two, I'll eat till the
I don't
cows
think
come
I've
home.
ever heard of beef stew at Thanksgiving, but that's okay.
No, I haven't
Whatever
either.
I'm
you-
surprised
How big the crowd
macaroni and
is.
cheese is such a favorite.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it is for
that's
kids,
true.
absolutely.
I can't believe how
Yeah.
many people love macaroni and cheese.
And that's something that's really kind of come up within the last 10 years, I would say. I
So
mean,
Vivian, on
yeah.
the liquid flavors here, which one do you,
I would have to go with chicken noodle soup.
that's your number one? What's number two?
Can't go wrong
Beef
with it.
stew.
Okay,
Not a big seafood fan.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Thank
but I
you.
love seafood, and I love making it. Which we'll share that at another point in time.
Chowder is great.
So, Sam, are you leaving at 7:30?
Pretty close, yeah, I can
Okay.
leave at 7:30.
Is there
if
anything
you wanna-
that you want to ask
I wa-
Vivian or talk? You
Well,
said the planning board.
Before I
last-
go, I just want to make one comment on the planning board, because it was really funny. I mean, how often do you watch the public meetings and you get some humor, right? So, watching the planning board meeting last night, and they're talking about the project on Princeton Street,
255?
255 Princeton, it's supposed to be a liquor store, and then it's got other things, and this thing's been dragging on and on and on, and the developer has changed the plans back and forth, and it's really kind of an interesting story. So,
I think it's a function of that property.
yeah,
Everything
well,
goes
yes,
slow there.
yeah, that's another story, but, so we've had up to this point, still in the public hearing process, we've had up to this point several iterations of what that thing is gonna look like. So, last night, we get yet another rendition.
A little tighter on the mic.
And
tighter on
they're
the mic.
going on, and one of the planning board members at the end, Dr. Deirdre Conley, she looked at the developer and she said, "Are we ever going to get a picture of what this thing is actually going to look like when it's built?" I just thought that was hilarious, because that just absolutely summed up what was going on, or what's been going on with this particular project. I mean, at this point, the planning board's been going back and forth, and, okay, first they had windows, then they took the windows out, I mean.
It's built.
Yeah.
All you have to do is drive by.
I know, but it's kind of.
Take your phone.
It's
Take a
kind of
picture.
like, and that, now, of course, they're trying to decide, what's gonna happen inside, and it's really kind of an interesting thing, but I just thought that comment was priceless. Are we ever gonna get a picture of what the thing will look like when it's actually built?
Well, unless they're doing something really strange. The
Yeah.
thing is already constructed and they're
Well, no,
working on the inside.
they're still.
Maybe what's on the landscape
Yeah,
stuff.
they're still
Are
in the
you doing anything with
modification.
planning board? No. Okay.
No. I think it's AI,
When
isn't it?
Sam goes, we'll
I
do
don't
Evelyn's
know.
favorite part of the
Yeah.
show, which is the announcements.
Oh, you mean I can go before the announcements?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
So you don't have to sit
you're leaving
through
at
them.
7:30, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't want to chew into any of your valuable time.
Oh,
Sam.
that's,
So Sam, is there anything else that you think that you'd like to talk about? I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff the
Tax
first hour too.
classification.
the
Or
what?
did you do
Tax
that last time?
Yes, we're having,
Good,
the
you
hearing,
goes.
the hearing on tax classification will be this Monday at the select board hearing. This is something that is required by law to be done by every single municipality in the state. Every city, every town has to have a tax classification hearing by law. Ours will be this Monday, and it's a presentation, and it is done very simply so that people can understand what's going on, and the select board will make a decision as to the level of tax shift. Right now, Chelmsford is at 117. By way of reference, Lowell is at 175, which is the maximum that can be shifted in Lowell. Chelmsford, we're only allowed to shift up to 150, okay? But right now, we're at 117, and after the presentation and a public hearing, public input and so forth, the assessors make the presentation, the public weighs in. The board will decide whether to keep us at the 117, or whether to change that, okay? So that's the decision that they will make. Very important. So if you're a property taxpayer and you're interested in this, I would suggest that you watch the meeting, or you come down to the meeting, and you will be able to speak. If you have an opinion one way or the other, you'll be able to voice your opinion. And my experience, and I've been doing this now for 17 years, okay, as chairman of the Board of Assessors, the Select Board does take the public's opinion very seriously in making these decisions. So I would suggest that you participate if you want to,
Thanks, Sam.
okay?
We're going to go to announcement land now.
And I will leave.
And we'll see you next week.
Off to Worcester.
Good luck.
Happy motoring, Sam.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
O'Connor's has a great lunch.
In Worcester, O'Connor?
In Worcester.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that.
So if you want an announcement on City Life, easy, just send me a text, send me an email. Easy thing to do. Coming up, the first thing is the Chelmsford Prelude. We just got this one today. This brand spanking new, just out of the wrapping. And just widen this out so we don't see anything else.
It's so warm in here.
Good
That's
luck.
oil heat.
Drive safe,
Thank you,
man.
thank you, Cox Fuel.
Whatever works, right?
Join us for the annual holiday prelude, December 7th, 2025, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., tree lighting at 5 at the Chelmsford town center, and
I'm in
common.
danger.
It's free.
I will.
They're gonna
Yes.
even have
What
free
now?
hot chocolate there.
That's what I have to
Moving right along today, coffee with a cup over at
It's a
Rosie's
simple thing to
Cafe.
make.
We can hear you, so you
I'm
can
sorry.
shut the mics off if you wanna
Oh, I'm
not
sorry.
be heard.
I thought that they were off.
No, there's a button there to shut them off.
I'm
On the
okay.
bottom? Okay, so I'm gonna shrink this down a little, whoop. Where's my coffee with the cup guy? Okay, you can shrink him down a little bit. So today, Thursday, November 13th, from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., you can go and sit down with a cop and tell him your tale of woe or tell her how happy you are at Rosie's Cafe, 155 Middlesex Street, Suite 1B. A delicious stop. They have little eatery things there too. You're going to have a good time. But it's a free cup of coffee this morning from 9 to 11. The Lowell Police Department, in partnership with Rosie's Cafe, will be hosting Coffee with a Cop today. Please join officers from the Lowell Police Department for free coffee and conversation. Moving right along to this is a food collection. So the food that they want to have is right down here. But it's this Saturday, November 15th, down at 10 Kirk Street, 10 to noon time. Donate if you can. Let me blow this up so you can see the bottom of it. And there you go. There's the things they want to have. Canned vegetables, rice, pasta, all kinds of goodies. So take a picture with your phone. If you have some stock that you can give away, they'd be glad to have it. Moving right along, Vanna Howard's having a party. She's having a party for joining us for our campaign kickoff for State Senate, November 18th at Cobblestones. Tickets start at $50 and they go up to $1,000. So donations can also be made to vanhoward.com. And if you have some extra food, bring a non-perishable food. They'd love to have you bring that. Today is the 13th of November. So if you head out to the Chelmsford Senior Center, you're going to have sausage and peppers with onion, rice, peas, and orange. I'd love to go there. That sounds delicious. And out in delightful Dracut, today we have American chop suey. That sounds good. Garlic spinach, garlic roll, and birthday cake. Wonder whose birthday it is.
That's awesome.
And then out in Tewksbury, we got American, same thing. They have birthday cake too. So American chop suey out in Tewksbury. And the only thing is, Tewksbury, you have to register a week early.
You did with Dracut.
And you have to do with Dracut too.
Yes, if you
In
decide to
Lowell,
go.
we're proud to have breakfast and lunch every day a week. Just show up. No reservation, just show up. So today is the 13th. So we're going to have pot roast and potato. But also, you can head over there right now, have a cup of coffee, and they usually have muffins. It's free every day. Or they'll take a donation if you want to donate. And then if you want to retire your flag, bring it to Lowell City Hall. And right outside the city clerk's office, you're going to see this metal mailbox, glorified mailbox. And at the top here, put your tattered flag, and the group will kindly retire it for you. That's my last announcement, so thank you, Ev. Back over to you.
Well, welcome back. I'm Evelyn Thoren. We're here till just before 8 o'clock, which we will sign off for transition. And Sam left because he has another commitment, so everything is fine with that. Vivian Merrill is here, so she was talking about the holiday prelude. So if anybody's just joining us, you can give us a brief synopsis of the holiday prelude in Chelmsford on December 7th.
You skipped the L, Ev.
4 to 6.
Pardon me?
You skipped the L.
The what?
Chelmsford. You said Chelmsford.
I don't care.
Yes, you do.
Now she skipped the R.
Usually go Chelmsford.
I always skip the R's.
It's okay. Yep, the prelude's going to be December 7th from 4 to 6. Everybody's welcome. A lot of free things, a few things you get to pay for. It's in the Chelmsford Center in the Common, and we hope to see you there.
Tree lighting is at 5.
Yes,
No horses this year, just a tractor.
exact. 4 tractors.
Oh.
I prefer the tractor than the horses.
I think it's cleaner. You get a little more control over it. And it
Horses
doesn't
are
give
lovely
out.
to look at on television.
Yeah, well, anyway, so you have that. We talked briefly, I was trying to lead into the permanent building committee because you do take the minutes at many of the different committees that's in town, and that's one of them. When it fits into your schedule. So do you think it's fitting into your schedule for the next scheduled meeting?
I think it has to, because I think you guys are going before the Conservation Commission to talk about the fire station projects.
Or you're gonna be at the Conservation Commission?
Right, yep.
So that, I'm not going there. At least I don't think I am. I have to see.
Probably, I don't think the whole committee will go. It'll probably just be the consultants and a
And
couple
probably
of people
Tim.
from the committee.
Yeah, so I would have to check and see what that schedule was. I have it on, in my notes, in my
Yeah,
bag.
I think you guys are meeting on December 16th, and I forget what the, when the Conservation Commission meeting is. I believe
There
it's
also
the week
is
before.
another, trying to think of when it is this month. I thought it was like on my granddaughter's birthday, that they'll have at the Elks on, for the,
Oh, the public input
for the
session.
public
the,
input
Parker
session,
School.
yes, for the Parker
Yeah, that'll be
School.
on the 20th.
of November.
Yes,
And then there's one in December.
yes.
And each of them focus on something different. So
Yes.
that'll be something that I probably will attend.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been on like almost, since I got here, almost
Yeah.
every major building project for schools. So,
Yeah, that one's gonna be interesting. They're all over the place with it right now, trying to figure out what they actually want, and,
well, that's why they have so many input sessions.
oh, yeah.
So it's next Thursday.
And then Wednesday will be capital planning, the second session of that.
And you
And-
take minutes on that?
Yeah, yeah.
So is Wednesday, is it the 19th that it's the capital planning? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No.
But we are going to try to go to the Tewksbury Senior Center that day for lunch.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Always
it's,
good to have a plan.
if you saw the schedule, I have a plan. All those lines are something going on. I mean, we're working our way into the new year. Look, see, there's January. I mean, it's like nuts. Yeah, so there's all of that different things that's
I'm
going to happen.
horrified we're in the middle of November. It's like, well, I'm still dealing with October. But it's all right.
Well, time is going by very quickly. I mentioned, I mean, my sister and I talk about all kinds of stuff. This is an aside when we talk about time, by the way. It has nothing to do with anything that we would be
okay.
talking about, but I figured
all
I might as
good.
well share.
Stream of consciousness.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever pops into my head at the time has to come out somehow or another within the next within the next 10 seconds, or I've forgotten about it, so something else will happen. When you get to a certain point in your life, you realize how fast everything went by.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that.
Yeah.
And when if you believe, in a higher authority and all of the different things, and you read the Bible and that, and you see what the timelines are, and everybody's trying to figure out the timeline when Christ comes again and all this other stuff. And it's, at one point it says that, God's time obviously is ours, and that, 1,000 years is like a day or an hour, and you go through all of the analysis. When you live your life to a certain point, you realize that time does that.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
The older you get, the faster it goes, just like a roll of toilet paper.
well, yeah, I usually call I call my sister like every day as she calls me. But on Thursday mornings, I'm calling her at 5:30 in the morning because I'm on my way up here.
So you're both crazy.
Well, she gets up early because she has a dog and a cat that get her up early. She's not up early so that she can listen to me talk on TV. She's not doing that. She doesn't access any of that stuff. And I always go, well, another Thursday. And she goes, and when are you going to give this up?
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, it's a time issue, and it's funny because when you say it's like the middle of November, I have to keep remembering when it is because I have to post meetings for different things on, and I'm like, the time is going by really, really
So
fast.
you see yourself doing it on one level, but you're not really living. And next thing you know, 3 months have gone by, and you're like, what? Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you consider living. Everybody has a different definition of that. I mean, we can take a few minutes and ask it's too bad John's not here. What is
He'll be back.
your connotation? I mean, what do you, if you say I'm living versus existing, we've had these philosophical conversations. I mean, how does that work? I mean, you have day-to-day things you have to do and get done, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes by the time a day ends, you're like, okay, I'm fine, I'm glad that's over. Or you're looking in your head like I do, lay in bed at night going, okay, so tomorrow I'm going to do this at this time, and this, and this, and this, and that. And so I've always lived almost like in the future, because I'm always doing stuff and planning. And I think that's why I feel as though things went by really quickly. Is it living? Well, I try to enjoy the moments that I was doing all this busy stuff.
Okay.
I know that sounds kind of strange, but
Yeah.
if try to not necessarily living in the moment, but something like that. So
I think the key is, do you like what you're doing? Because there's so many people out there that are as busy as you are, and they hate what they're doing. And that's not living. That's existing.
so it's a matter of your attitude and your perception of what it is that you're doing in your immediate
Yeah.
life.
If you like what you're doing, you're going to enjoy it more.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why you try to get your dream job, or it's something that you thought you wanted, and when you get into it, you really don't, so you can change it, and if you change it, you're fine. A lot of people don't have that flexibility anymore. It used to be like that growing up, or when I was a lot younger. It's not like that anymore. People aren't, it's almost like they're fighting against working. Or doing something along those lines. But I always seem to have enjoyed most of what I've done.
Good.
And I like being busy, and that's an understatement many times with regard to what I do. And I can create more things to do. I don't think that you are trying to create more things to do. I think that you probably just volunteer just like I do.
I'm trying to back off on some of the things I do at this point in my life. Make life simpler and focus in different areas. Because you can't be all things to all people, ever.
All the time.
Exactly.
But sometimes you try.
You do, for a half hour, and then you get over yourself and do something else.
Well, you talk yourself out of it. So it is funny, with being at a certain point, at different points in my life, as far as what I was doing, because we always talk about, what did you talk about when you got together with friends? And in the different age brackets, okay, you would talk, if your kids were little, or before you got married, you would talk about who's getting married, what did you get your job, did you college degrees, are you going for more, any number of things along those lines. What vacation are you taking? Are you going anywhere? What kind of a car are you buying?
Where is that band playing?
Yes, don't hesitate because my life was always very relatively quiet. I kept it extremely simple, but not on purpose. It was just because I happen to like that. I like quiet. When we go to the other location in New Hampshire, it's very quiet. In the summertime you hear the loons. Unfortunately, you have these very noisy ducks that quack all night long. Sometimes you hear geese. We used to have some bullfrogs and stuff like that that's up there. There's becoming more of a variety of birds than when we were there 10 years ago, which I find very interesting. And I think as people landscape and they do different things, it will attract different birds.
And they're getting pushed out of their environment where they have been. All the development is having a really big impact on wildlife. I mean, I'm seeing things in my yard that we've never seen before.
Oh, like what?
Rats, rabbits, more rabbits than ever. The foxes are having a lot of issues with mange and different diseases. You're seeing more coyotes and bobcats. There's all kinds of things out there, and development is pushing them out of where they've been hiding, and they got nowhere left to go, and it's really sad.
Well, there's a lot of them that have adapted to city life. You see, and there's pictures out there, and you can look on Google and even San Francisco and stuff. I mean, the coyotes are in the cities, and so are the skunks and the raccoons.
And the bears and the moose, and it's like their normal travel paths are now, boom, a house or a big condo development or something, and they got to circumnavigate that somehow, and they're as confused as you are, and they don't have Google Maps.
Well, that's why, when people are very shocked what they see, it's like, but you put a house in the middle of their home. What do you expect?
Yeah.
It's really, a sad situation, but hawks are still okay as long as you don't try to poison your rodents with, that, whatever that stuff is.
The green blocks?
Yeah, the
Oh, the mice this year is unbelievable. They are everywhere. It's like, there's an explosion
Do you
of
have any
mice.
other? Well, I haven't seen that many where I am, but then I've been putting down cinnamon and cloves and peppermint and different things,
Yeah.
and then trying to caulk everything so that they can't get in. Because I no longer have a cat. But I haven't seen any evidence of mice in the main part of the house. They've always been in the garage. And then we have all those trees that have nuts, so they're always, bringing all kinds of nuts, so you know that they're there. And we have the same issue at the other location. We have a lot of mice up there. I really don't like it. So, like I said, I've been doing a lot of, there's that foam stuff that you put in to insulate, but you can fill in all the holes.
Yeah.
Then I
yeah.
had the caulking that is red, that's fireproof, that you put around all of the entry and exit points of whatever wires you have going from floor to floor, so that it
Okay.
prevents them going through. I still have places where I haven't done because there's a ceiling, so who knows? But I haven't seen much anywhere, and definitely haven't seen them in the kitchen since I did that.
That's good.
Yeah, so, and we're up there more often, and of course, because you're up there, they're not gonna be around as much, but they
Yeah.
still are. So there are mice up there, but we also have eagles. And they're definitely, doing their own fishing, and there's not as many squirrels as we had. We have a lot of hawks in Chelmsford. I was moving the compost pile in the back of my son's house across the street, and when I pulled into the backyard, I think the hawk was waiting for the moles or the
Okay.
chipmunks, because it was on the ground.
Sure.
And it took off, and it had a wingspan
Oh,
like
yeah,
this.
they're
It was huge.
Yeah.
And I don't mind having them as long as they don't get any chickens and any other things, small dogs and cats that might be out there. So I don't care about that. We had a lot of chipmunks at one point, and it's almost as if something has eaten those. They take a little bit because they don't chip all the time. We have rabbits in our yard. If I take out some of the shrubs, we won't have as many rabbits because they're nesting underneath things. I was moving one of the compost piles, and rabbits are running out of them, but I'm like, okay. I'm like, maybe I better wait until the middle of next summer to do that. But there's only so much, that you cannot do with regard to that. So have you tried, if you have a lot of mice where you are, because I know where you live, have you tried natural repellents for them?
Hey, we've done the grandpa gusses, we've done the Irish Spring, we've done the dryer sheets, we've done the mouse repellent foam, we've done steel wool. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they don't eat the steel wool, because I did that.
No, they'll just tear it out. Because
Really?
Eric went through the trailer and put steel wool in all the little crevices last year. He went in this year to check things out and put more foam in. It had all been ripped out.
You have aggressive mice.
I'm telling you.
Now, have you tried like the cinnamon and the nut and the cloves and the peppermint?
Probably not enough of it. We did do the peppermint, but it doesn't
Well, it dissipates
really
real
deter
quickly.
them. Yeah, I mean, there's just not enough of the stuff in the world to put down.
And red pepper works too.
I
But I
haven't
will
done
tell
a lot
you,
with
when
that.
at the edge of my garage, when you lift up the doors, and I put the cinnamon and I had lavender, I threw that around on the floor because it
Now,
smells
all
really
those
good.
different scents together has got to be kind of gross.
It doesn't matter. The thing is, I'm trying to deter the mice.
I know.
And of course, Glenn likes sticky traps and that, so, I mean, we're always catching something. But I have a lot less mice in my garage.
Okay. I think we need a lot less things.
Well,
that
yeah,
will
there's-
attract them less.
well, that's true. And I've been working on it, but
Oh, you and me both.
oh my gosh, trying to get rid of stuff. Now, I see you post some different things that's on Facebook free. You had some kind of an entertainment system that was free if somebody wanted to come and get
Yeah,
it.
that's still there. Yep. My son's trying to sell a couple of his Camaros. So if you're into rebuilding Camaros, I got 2 of them you can take a look at. And yeah, we're just going through and trying to thin the herd a little bit. A lot of the stuff gets donated to various charities, thrift stores, Wish Project, St. Vincent de Paul.
That's
to
what I'm
St.
doing.
Anne's down in Billerica. We just spread the joy everywhere. And it's amazing what you don't realize you've collected over the years.
Oh, yes,
know?
you do, once you start to go through it.
Yeah, it's like I fit 50 pounds of crap in a 20-pound box. That's awesome. Could never do it again, but it happens.
Well, the one of the things that as you get older, it depends on obviously who you are. My sister has collected like nothing, because she's moved so often. And when you move, you have to pay per so many
There you
pounds.
go. That's a good clean-out time.
And so that's part of the reason. And I'm not saying she doesn't have anything. It's just, in comparison to what I have, it's like nothing. But when people die and you're in charge of the
I
estate,
was just gonna go there.
it is very difficult sometimes to not, especially if you grew up in certain households and you go, someday I think I'd like that. Right? They die and all of a sudden you have it. And then now what do you do with it? The other day I saw a bald eagle in Merrimack near St. John's Hospital. Beautiful bird. Oh yeah, we have quite a few of those at the lake. And they do fish up there. We have a lot. It's a shallow lake. I don't even know what's in there. I don't think there's smallmouth bass in there. I've never seen much, and I don't fish because it's warm water up there. Cold water fish are much better.
Okay.
They have more flavor. They don't taste as oily or something. I don't think I've seen an eagle in Chelmsford recently, but there's plenty of hawks, and they rotate. Okay, so anyway, I bought more cloves to see if I could put that out in my garage, and we have those in our sheds and stuff. The dryer sheets don't work, by the way, people. They just don't work. The Irish Spring, I don't know about that. I'd like to
They
hang
say
them in
it
the fruit
does.
trees.
My mice ate the stuff and just, pooped all over the place. It was awesome. They're brutal. They're army mice.
So we'll come back to this. Obviously, we can come back to this, but like I said, when we have estates, and then you don't want to get rid of stuff, and some stuff, if you know your antiques and you know your collectibles, it's like, how do I just throw it away? Then you could start an eBay business, except that I really don't want to do that. It's a lot of work, and I don't need to adjust my income currently, which is an advantage. And it would really be screwy to try to do those books again, because I did have a business. Trying to do that was nuts. But I have a lot of stuff, and most of the stuff that I have was somebody else's stuff. It wasn't new. And
Sentimental value messes with your head.
oh, big time. Because you feel guilty if you get rid of it. But I do have children that some of the stuff I currently have is supposed to go to them from what the estate said. And I'm storage.
Oh,
Because they had smaller children, or they don't have any room for what it is, and they don't want it because they don't want it to get wrecked. So I have some dilemma when it comes to that. And so we'll see where that goes. So Sam talked about planning board. Anything new on Conservation Commission in Chelmsford?
not incredibly. Like I said, the next big thing on their horizon is the fire station projects that I know of. Different things come up every week depending on what phone calls come in and things like that. So they just keep on keeping on. They're doing okay.
Can I ask you two super shoppers, will you be shopping for Christmas more on the computer screen, or are you going to go to the store? Starting off with Evelyn.
Oh, I will be shopping online.
You're not going to go to the store?
Well, it depends on what they want. But generally speaking, they usually list it off of Amazon.
Understood. How about you, Viv?
I'm thinking gift cards. Let them get their own stuff. Because I don't
Skip
want
the gift card, give 'em
I
cash.
don't want to guess what you want.
But just write your name on the money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I usually do most of my shopping in actual stores because online stuff drives me crazy. But I don't trust it. The amount of missed deliveries and things of that nature, I'll
So
just
you
go
prefer
get it.
in-store shopping?
Yes.
Okay. And Ev, you prefer on-screen shopping?
The only reason that I prefer on screen is because each grandchild has a list. They send me the link of what they want. I tap on it, it goes to Amazon, I put it in the cart. I'm done. Now, I will say that I give my daughter-in-laws a gift certificate to Amazon each year, and I print it out. And then, depending upon what major project each son has going, we write a check. If they need something, if some, like the house or whatever, we're not
That
funding.
makes
Big one
sense.
when you're gonna shop in the store, I know it.
Yeah, I'm not going to a store. However,
Rather not.
I will tell you that something new that I haven't done in a long time. So I've been driving my oldest granddaughter to her college classes until she gets another car. And I think today's the last day. But it's nice, not because I needed more to do, but because I have the time to have a conversation. And I think that's something that everybody should do. Everybody's very busy. They're on their phone, they're on the computer, they're watching TV, they're running here and running there. You need to take the time to actually have conversation and get off of all the devices and to share experiences, especially if you're in our age bracket. And they have no clue what it was like. And some of them don't care, they don't want to know. But you can share it anyway because it will stay in memory until they do care. About how it was when you grew up, or your family history, or resources. One of the conversations she and I had was budget. How many people will go up to the Pheasant Lane
Yeah,
Mall,
that's a
then
thing
drop
now.
a buck or more at the Nash? I don't know, Glenn wants to go up there, and I'm not into going to casinos.
I did not like the restaurants up there, went to both, and, turn my mic on, sorry. I went to both restaurants up there, lackluster. Staff's great, the food was just lackluster, both restaurants. I'm a sore loser, my wife loves to gamble, and she doesn't want to go back.
Now, does she
She-
not want to go back
She
because of
loves
the gambling?
Foxwoods, she loves Foxwoods, and she won't try the other one, there's another little one on the left-hand side.
Plain
She
Ridges,
won't try that
whatever.
one. But moving right along on this thing here, we got, tomorrow's City Life, we're gonna have, Eileen Del Rossi will be here. Cliff Krieger's gonna be the host, and Jose Cervantes, he's gonna be here. And don't forget about avoid the Rourke Bridge today. If you're coming from Pawtuckettville towards the Highlands, you cannot take a right. They're doing sewer work there. And, so if, I would avoid the whole area myself if I could. Thank you. Back to you, Ev.
Right, don't forget the holiday prelude on the 7th of December. If there's anything else, make sure that you get me flyers, and if there's something coming up with the dog park, we'll let everybody know as far as those dates go.
Sure.
And we do wish you well on all of the different adventures and all the hats that you wear. We didn't talk about insurance this morning.
No, we didn't. And how's Bob? How are we doing?
He's doing pretty good, but
Yeah.
we can talk about that off camera.
Okay.
Anyway, everybody have a great day. Stay safe.
See you tomorrow.
We'll see you
Thanks.
next week.